Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing amazing. So for this video, I thought I would show you my holiday book haul. So as you might already know, I recently had a week holiday. Half of it was spent in Ireland and the other half was spent in Scotland. And I have quite a few new books to show you. So that's what this video is going to be. But I just wanted to show you as well. Look, I have a new reading chair and I am in love with it. Like, I don't know why I haven't bought a reading chair sooner. Like, it just makes me want to read so much more. I just want to sit on it all the time. And now we have a new kind of background as well, and you can see my lower half of the shelves rather than my top ones all the time. But I do actually have a cat and she has already tried to claim it for herself, so we are kind of like covering it up with a blanket at night because she does seem to think that, you know, our sofas and our furniture is a scratching post, and it just isn't. So yeah, we're being a bit sneaky, but I'm so in love with it. I've got this like nice little kind of autumnal blanket. I also want to get a Christmas one. I also need to get a cushion. I fear that I'm never leaving this chair. I actually do not leave this chair and I love it so much. But on that note, let's roll on to my book haul. I've actually been really excited to film this one because I really want to put my new books on my shelf, which I know there's not much room, but I've kept all the books that I bought in their original packaging like all together, so you know I can just have them for ease. Today, after this video, I finally get to put them on my shelf. But the first place I went to, I want to say, is Hendrix. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, in Ireland. And I just want to say, look at this paper bag that they put the book in. Like, it's got all different books on. So we've got like picture of Dorian Gray, The Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe. We've got Dracula on the end here. I love this paper bag so much. I might not get rid of it. Is that weird? I did actually film like a mini holiday vlog, so if you did want to see any of the bookstores that I bought these books in, then feel free to watch that video as they are in there. So the one and only book I bought in Hendrix is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. Now, I've been after this book for quite some time, but for some odd reason, like, I can't actually place my finger on it. I just haven't picked it up and I haven't bought it. Now I feel like I understand why, because when I went into this bookstore and saw this book, I picked it up as like I usually do, and I noticed there were sprayed edges on there. Now, I've never seen this sprayed edge in my life. Let me do a close-up for you. Now, I will say this isn't kind of my favourite sprayed edge I've ever seen, just because I feel like the colours are quite muted. They're not very vibrant, but at the same time, it is still stunning, and I've never seen this before. So I was just like, you know what? This is the one I'm going to pick up for this store. I will say the books in Ireland are so pricey. So for this one, I paid €14 for. I mean, I guess once you convert it into pounds, it's not too much, but it is a sprayed edge. I am on holiday. That was my justification. Everyone that I know who has read this book absolutely love it, and it's just been on my radar for so long. I believe it's like a cozy fantasy book, but there is some heavy topics in there. I believe it's about an orphanage and we're going through the kids' lives, but obviously it is a fantasy. I don't know if it's magical realism, but yeah, that was the first book I bought, and look at that. I did also see the second one in another bookstore with the sprayed edge as well, but it was a bit battered and bruised, so I was like, you know what, I can't pick that up. I can't have that on my shelf, but at least I've got the first one, and I know to look out for the second one with the sprayed edge too, because I'm sure I've heard amazing things about the sequel too. So yeah, the next bookstore I went to in Ireland was Eason's. I want to say it's Eason's. It could be Eason's. I'm not sure, but I'm going to say Eason's. And I bought 2 books on here. So this was a little bit more affordable. I believe Hendrix is kind of like the Waterstones of Ireland, whereas this reminded me a little bit of like W.H. Smith vibes. I don't know why, that's just kind of the vibe that I had, but it was a little bit more affordable, and I bought 2 books and they were actually on offer, I believe like 2 for €20. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to take advantage, and that's exactly what I done. So the first book I bought was The Surf House by Lucy Clark. I believe this is a thriller, and this one has caught my eye quite a few times. And then I believe it was someone on, I want to say TikTok, that I actually quite trust, and they read this book and they rated it 5 stars and absolutely loved it. So I was like, okay, say no more, I'm gonna get it. I believe this is a thriller. We have got someone that stays, I'm assuming, in a surf house, but the woman before her disappeared, and I believe we're just trying to find out what happened to her and if we can solve that mystery. And then the next book that I took advantage of in the offer was The Life Impossible by Matt Haig. Now, I did actually read The Midnight Library. I think I rated that 4 stars. I just really appreciated that book. I really enjoyed Matt Haig's writing, and I have actually heard that a lot of people prefer this one to The Midnight Library. So I just had to pick it up, really. I don't know too much about it, but actually I feel like that might be a good thing, especially with how I read The Midnight Library. I think because I didn't know a whole ton of what it was about, just kind of the base story, I think I liked it even more and appreciated the message in the story a little bit more. So I might actually go into this one a little bit blind. I loved The Midnight Library because it really made you think about your own life, your own life choices, and I'm assuming this one is going to be exactly the same. I love a book that makes you think, am I doing the right things? Have I chosen the right choices in life? But also it just makes you appreciate what you do have in life. I do think we have a tendency as a society to see the bad parts in our life, but actually there is so much to be happy about and to look forward to, and I feel like this book is just going to cement that once again for me. So the next store I went to in Ireland was Debrays, and I love this shop for some odd reason. I went to the one on Mary Street, and I don't know, I just fell in love. This was actually the first ever bookshop I went to in Ireland, but I didn't actually buy any books the first time round, and then I couldn't stop thinking about this one book, and I went back, I bought it, and then I bought some more as well. But yeah, there was something so special about this bookstore for me. But I did buy 3 books in this store. So the first book that I bought was the one that I could not stop thinking about, and I saw it the first time round, and it was Frankenstein. So I've been wanting to read Frankenstein for the longest time. I read Dracula not too long ago. I really enjoyed it, but I've always wanted to pick up Frankenstein, and I never have. Again, I don't know why. And then I went into this bookstore and I thought, oh my God, I have never seen this version of Frankenstein before, and it really jumped out at me. And I was like, do I buy it? Do I not? I feel like I've been waiting to get the Chiltern version. It's like this special edition. I've got a few of them, but this one, I don't know, it was just screaming at me. I think it's the blue on the cover. I loved it so much, and actually this was so affordable. So I only paid €10 for this version, which I think is quite cheap considering the rest of the books in Ireland are really quite expensive. So for my next 2 books, I actually took advantage of a little deal they were having, and that was buy one get one half price, and that actually amounted to around 20 euros, I want to say. So again, not the cheapest, but definitely not the most expensive in Ireland. So the first one I picked up was Evenings and Weekends by Oisin McKenna. So I've seen this one everywhere lately, and I've really wanted to pick it up. I know Jack Edwards was ranting and raving about this one. The colours are absolutely gorgeous, and I believe this is a literary fiction, and we are going through the lives of 3 different individuals in London, I want to say, and while all this is going on, there's actually a heat wave, which I'm assuming plays a part in this book because it does say it on the back. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. I also feel like I've not read a literary fiction in quite some time. I definitely haven't bought a literary fiction in quite some time, so I'm really excited to read this one. And then the next book I bought was Carla by Colin Walsh, and I have to say I nearly picked this up in Waterstones a couple of months ago. It might have been one of their book of the months or thrillers of the month. I'm sure, but I read the back, and again I was absolutely just hooked. This does also take place in Ireland, so I thought, well, I bought it in Ireland, it only makes sense to buy a book that's based in Ireland and where the setting is Ireland. So for this one, we've got 3 friends who have not seen each other in quite some time, and they were originally a group of 6, and the kind of leader of that group was someone called Carla. But now it turns out that Carla's actually disappeared without a trace, and I'm assuming again we are finding out the mystery, finding out what's going on. I'm really excited to read this one. Like I say, it's been on my radar for quite some time, and I just thought this was the perfect opportunity to buy it, and that's exactly what I did. And finally, the last bookstore I went to was actually in Scotland, in a little town called Dollar, and it's called the Wee Bookshop. Like, what a cute name for a bookshop. Like, it is just perfect. And honestly, it was such a cute little bookshop as well, and it had a little cafe in there, so we sat down, we had a coffee and a cake, and well, my family sat down and had a coffee and cake while I was browsing the books, and then I had to kind of down my coffee at the end when I finally bought the ones that I bought. But yeah, it was so cute. They had little gifts in there. They had a whole seating for the cafe, and it had like this lovely flower print wallpaper. It was just so cute and quaint. But I did manage to buy 2 books in this shop. The first one being Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. Now again, I have had this one on my radar for quite some time. I believe this is really highly regarded. Like, again, everyone that I know who has read this book absolutely loves it, like has not had a bad word to say about it. It's also historical fiction, which again, tick on my book. I absolutely love historical fiction. So yeah, I'm really super excited for this one. I actually have really high hopes. I feel like this is got the potential to be 5 stars for me, but only time shall tell. So for this one, we've got twins. We've got Hamnet and his sister. But unfortunately, his sister is kind of bedridden with the sudden fever of the time, as this is set in 1596. So while his sister is in bed feeling really ill, Hamnet tries to find help, but no one's at home. So on the back it says their mother Agnes is over a mile away in a garden where she grows medicinal herbs, and their father is working in London. Neither parent knows that Hamnet will not survive the week. So I'm really excited for this. It also says it was the Women's Prize Fiction for 2020. So again, I just know this is going to be right up my street. I am so excited, and also I love that cover. It's just so beautiful. I mean, I kind of wish that weren't there, but at the same time, we are representing the woman's fiction and that she won it, so I kind of understand. But yeah, gorgeous cover, and cannot wait to read this one. And then finally, my last book that I bought on the trip. This was actually quite an impulse purchase. Like, I walked around the whole wee bookstore, and I saw this little segment right at the back where there was children's books. Obviously, I don't have any children's. I didn't gravitate towards there, but I thought, let me get some clips and, I'll showcase it if anyone wants to go to the store. And then I saw a whole few shelves of YA and teen and like some really popular romances, and I thought, oh my god, I have missed a whole segment in this shop. But I was browsing, and again, that was where I saw the sequel to House in the Cerulean Sea, but again, it was a bit battered, and I was like, no, I can't do this. So I was having a few flicks, I was like reading some blurbs, and then I saw this one, and it's called The Hanging City. So I believe this is YA. I've never heard this before. I've never seen anyone talk about this before. It's really floppy. I know this shouldn't be why I bought a book, but we all do love a floppy book. And it's also a little bit taller than your normal paperback. I don't know if that shows on the camera, but it's just like a different size and everything. I was just gravitating towards it. So I just thought, let's just buy it. Let's just treat ourselves. So that's what I did. So I realised I haven't told you the prices of these ones too. So I paid £10 for Hamnet, and then I paid £9 for The Hanging City. But for The Hanging City, it also is like the front cover feels really silky smooth. I don't know how to explain it. It's like it's been laminated, but it hasn't been laminated. I don't know. It feels really lovely. So it seems like we have a female main character called Lark, and she is on the run from her abusive father. She is trying to find refuge, but she actually has a power of her own. She can thrust fear onto others, leaving all threats fleeing in terror. Which I don't know, I just ate that up. Imagine coming across someone and you can just put their fear on them. Like, how scary would that be? So it seems like she lands in the town of Kagmar, and that is the city of trolls, a brutal species and sworn enemies of humanity. But when she gets to the town, it seems like the trolls actually look at her and think, she could be quite useful to us. So actually, this human is the only exception we will allow in this town. As Lark is desperate to call Kagmar her home, she agrees that she will not use her power on any troll. Otherwise, she'll be unalived. But it seems like her loyalty is going to be put to the test as she comes across a troll that absolutely despises humans. But regardless, along the way, she finds herself some true friends and maybe even a love interest. I don't know, this one just really piqued my interest. I read the blurb and I was like, oh, never heard of it before, liked the title, liked the cover, and I thought, you know what? Let's just treat myself. Not that I didn't treat myself the whole holiday, considering I bought a whole load of books. So yes, they are the 9 books that I bought on holiday. But then I also, obviously we went to Scotland. My sister lives there. We stayed with her. She may have given me some books herself. So the actual number of books I received has gone up. So the first book that she gave me was Raising Hair by Chloe Dalton. Now, I believe this is a non-fiction book, and I feel like it's going to make me cry, or I don't know. She was reading this. She did tell me a bit about it. She said it was quite a powerful read. It was a good read, but also can be quite upsetting. But again, this has so much praise. Again, on the front, it was Women's Prize shortlisted for nonfiction of this year, which, I mean, that's an endorsement in itself. We have Chloe, I believe, raising a hair. That is it. And she goes through their journey together. And I don't know, I just feel like this is really going to pull my heart out. I'm actually quite scared to read this. But at the same time, I would like to read more nonfiction. As much as I love fiction, I don't tend to gravitate towards nonfiction. And I think this is going to captivate me as well as break my heart. But so that is the first book that she gave me. The second book that she gave me was Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. I've heard amazing things about this one, and I have to admit, this one has never piqued my interest. I've seen it in the stores. The cover just doesn't gravitate towards me, so I've never picked it up. But I have heard amazing things, and my sister really enjoyed this one as well. And she was like, you should read this. And I was like, okay, I mean, it's a freebie. I haven't bought it myself, so I thought I'd give it a go. I don't actually know too much about this book. I've briefly gone over the blurb and it doesn't really say much. It seems like we are just going through the life of Demon, who is this little boy. And I guess we'll go from there. But I would love to know if anyone's actually read this book, like what you thought of it. Oh my God, another Women's Prize fiction for 2023. We are repping the women today, and I'm all here for it. And it's a winner, so it has to be good. So I am going to be excited to read this one. I have a feeling I'm going to push this one back. It is quite chunky. I don't feel like I'm going to gravitate towards picking this up, even for a TBR and whatnot, but we'll see when we'll get to this. And then the last book she gave me was Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. And I have to say, I've absolutely zero ideas on what this is about, but look how tiny this is. Like, look at the width of the book. It's so cute, and it is quite floppy as well. All I know is about this one is that my sister really enjoyed it, and that is all. But look at this cover. That cover is so stunning. But actually, let's read the back. So it says, 4 generations of a poor, proud immigrant family fight to control their destinies, exiled from a homeland they never knew. In the early 1900s, teenage Sunja, the adored daughter of a crippled fisherman, falls for a wealthy stranger at the seashore near her home in Korea. He promises her the world, but when she discovers she is pregnant and that her lover is married, she refuses to be bought. Instead, she accepts an offer of marriage from a gentle, sickly minister passing through on his way to Japan. But her decision to abandon her home and to reject her son's powerful father sets off a dramatic saga that will echo down through generations. Okay! This actually feels like a book that I would really enjoy. So I'm actually glad I read the blurb, and I'm glad my sister gave me that, because I feel like this is going to be right up my street. And look how tiny it is. I know I've said that before, but it's actually so tiny. Like the width of it is just... Look at that. But I believe she must have bought this on holiday somewhere, because it says it's $18. So I don't know where she got this. I might have to ask her. But yeah, that is all of my books. So I went on holiday with 3 books and I've come back with 15. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. But actually, I did give tomorrow to my sister because I know she was after a new book. She's been after reading that for some time. I did not get round to that one because that was in my September TBR. I didn't read it, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to give it to my sister. She can read it first and she can tell me what she thinks of it. So actually, I come back with 14. So the number's down. I'm clutching onto anything. I mean, that is really ridiculous. I don't know how I got it all back in my case, but hey ho. But it was such an amazing holiday. I feel like I needed to just buy myself some books, have a little treat, and yeah. And now I can pop these onto my shelf. So yeah, happy days. But I'm going to leave this one here. If you did enjoy this video, it would mean the world to me if you could like and subscribe. I would love to have you. I would also love to know if you have read any of the books that I've bought. What was your favourite? Have you got any on your radar? I would love to know all of your thoughts. But on that note, I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye.